Like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat on the way in. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Good morning. Happy Saturday morning to everybody. Right. And today we're not even gonna mess around. We're just gonna get right to it. All right. Today we will be talking about our favorite lonely, pretending like she's not lonely girl, Miss Real Talk with Yanny. Right. In this clip she put up of a young lady on TikTok reviewing another young lady on TikTok. And I remember the original video where the young lady was saying, I'm going to my man, right? Like, no matter what, no matter what I'm doing with my girlfriends, my man call, I'm gone, right? And I remember how many women reacted to that, particularly black women, obviously, reacted to that when that video first came out. Now, this young lady, I don't know if she broke up with her man or if she's going through it with her man, but the other young lady who's reviewing it alluded to something like that, right? And oh wow. Hopefully you guys can hear me now. I don't know. I went out for a second. I think I went out, but my screen went black. So, okay. But yeah, so she's reviewing the video and she's speaking to that. And it's one of those, radical feminist type of, ideas where you abandon your friends for your man. I guess these people don't understand nuclear family. They don't understand when people are trying to grow a relationship, it's about that person. Everyone else takes a backseat. Period. You know, especially if you want this to grow into a potential marriage, children, husband, children, wife. The rest of your family become relatives, and your friends are still your friends, but they're no longer your primary concern. Maybe not even your secondary concern, right? You'll still be there for your friends, but this spouse or potential spouse takes precedent. And what it seems is many women struggle with this because they've been single all of or most of their adult life. And for those that haven't, that's much of the reason why they're currently single. They struggle with the idea of putting another person first or doing things for the express pleasure of another person, particularly black women to black men, because many black women assume that they have the moral high ground and they assume the moral pedestal over men, over black men specifically. So doing something for the express pleasure of a man is a sin, right? Particularly picking a black man over black women is a sin, right? It is a sin. And so what you see is Yanny posting this, and I would argue this is a response to Yanny's friends. Yanny already made a video low-key lamenting, right, the fact that many of her friends have moved on, they're in relationships, they have children, right? And she's, I guess, one of the few single ones, or if she's the only single one out of her close-knit friends. Dear Yanny's friends, this is a message to you. She's telling you don't come back over here when he breaks your heart type thing. Yawn. So this is what Yanny was speaking to when she was like, I want to go back to when we would just hang out and we would just go out and, it wasn't about men, it was about this and it wasn't about that. Yanny, you were chasing the bag, right? Train tracks. And I understand we live in a capitalist society. You were chasing the bag. You were getting to the money. Well, you have it now. And you have your YouTube fame. And you're good, right? You're good, right, Yanny? And your friends who I'm certain don't make nearly as much as you, probably them and their man put together don't earn as much as you. But they're in relationships and they're happy. happy, content, elated, okay, but are you? You're posting videos like this, like everybody don't get the message. The women got the message, they're gonna pretend like they didn't. And the men got the message. Yanny is lonely. And she's looking for her friends to help her with that loneliness. Not a relationship with the man, but her friends. Unfortunately for Yanny, her friends aren't in relationships with men. Ooh, goddamn. Shout out to Green Gorilla. This is another Dr. Green Gorilla. This is another one of those, you know, O's up, G's down type videos, right? This is Yanny doing her best rendition of Kim Foster, of For Harriet. And we understand Yanny wasn't the one necessarily speaking in this video, but she did post it up. So that means she's backing this video, right? She's co-signing this video. And she has spoken to this also, so it's not a stretch to extrapolate that Yanny co-signs this video, right? Right? Huh. So, I'm bringing this to y'all today to say, sometimes we advocate for certain things, not knowing that what we're saying is not new. What we're advocating for is not new. It's not revolutionary. Yanny, this is radical feminism. And I'm not just saying that to say that. No, this is literally like radical feminism. Like this is like something that women were advocating for. Different, you know, radical feminists were advocating for in the 70s, in the 80s. I'm not making that up. Men need to be on one side of the planet, women need to be on the other side of the planet. Do nothing expressly for the pleasure of men. Be antagonistic towards men no matter what. Be adversarial towards men no matter what. See men as the enemy. Yanny, you, Chrissy, Paris, even though she's married, Cynthia G, right? It's not limited to black men. Y'all see men as nothing but tools, walking wallets. And if the men are not balling out of control, then there's no need for them, right? They're disposable, as many women have said to us over the past few decades. Men are replaceable, men are disposable, right? This is where you get into the class talk, right? Of like, well, if he ain't balling out of control, if he's not a millionaire, a billionaire, worth 6 figures, if he's not somewhere in there, then what's the point? I mean, what are men? But well, it's funny because the more feminist these people are, the more low-key they advocate for like some weird Darwinist patriarchy, right? Some weird eugenics style of masculinity and manhood, some king of the hill, right? Highlander type masculinity. It's very interesting how these like heterosexual feminists work, right? Only though because they see relationships as inherently oppressive. Relationships with men, they see as inherently oppressive. Intimate relationships with men. So the only time they will subject themselves in their minds, the only time they will subject themselves to an intimate relationship with a man is if he's buying them. Now, these are the same people oftentimes, not Yanny, but these are the same people oftentimes that are anti-capitalism, right? These are the same people that say they're anti-patriarchy, right? But in a weird way, what they're saying is, well, if I'm going to subject myself to being in an intimate relationship with a man, because you know it's going to be inherently oppressive and the power dynamic is going to be inherently on his side, no matter how much money. And that's why I want him to be a baller, because I want the comfort, I want the lifestyle. I just don't want him to express that power on me. But because I know it's going to happen, then I need him to be a 6-figure man, a millionaire, a billionaire. Now, will you look at that, right? Huh. So Yanny, posts this video. It's not of her, but she's co-signing it. And the young lady does say, "I'm single," and once again we get and this is directed towards Richard Reeves and Dr. Tommy Curry, Dr. Richard Reeves, Dr. Scott Galloway, all these people, all the demographers and all these people that are starting to run around with their hair caught on fire because they don't know what they're going to do with the U.S. population because their daughters don't want to have sex with their sons. Their daughters don't want to have children anymore because they raise at least 2 to 3 generations of super selfish women. Oops. Materialistic, consumerist, a-hole women, mean, snarky, condescending women who hide behind a formal education and a degree. I'm saying women, these are little girls in women's bodies. These are immature, bratty little girls in women's bodies. Alexa, play TLC, What About Your Friends, please? Right? So Yanny, Yanny and her lonely self is asking about her friends. Where are her friends? And she posts this video of this young lady pretty much saying, well, if you leave me, don't come back. If you choose him over me, don't come back. What type of weird political lesbianism are you advocating for right now, Yanny? Because you single. Dear Yanny, by the way, that's not new either. Yanny, what you're advocating for, low-key, is political lesbianism. Right? What you're saying is not new, Yanny. It's just an around-the-way black woman advocating for something that she didn't even know is old as hell, and that many women who found themselves in her position have said in the past. Shout out to Lonnie Love. Shout out to Kim Foster. Y'all not saying nothing. Yanny, you're not saying nothing new. This is lonely girl talk. Where are my friends? Look, now they think because they have a man, you're going to choose him over me? You ain't going to hang out no more? You ain't going to go to the club anymore? We're not going to go out and do $150, $200, $250, $300, $350 brunch anymore? $500 brunch? Goddamn. Oh, and he better be the one who's sending you with the money he better be paying, because then I'm going to talk crap about your little 50-50 relationship. Dear Yanny, I just want you to know, like, black men have sisters like you, and girl cousins like you, and aunts like you, and grandmothers like you, yikes. And mothers like you, yikes. Huh. So I hope those of you, and if you want to check it out, it's in the link is in the description. The video is only 3 minutes or so long, right? But it's important that we put this out here so that the Dr. Umar Johnsons of the world can stop trying to lecture down to us about these particular black women, like black men are the ones messing up. No, these women want their freedom. They just want it on men's dime. Dear Dr. Umar Johnson, these women see relationships with men as inherently oppressive. It doesn't matter what type of man you are. And because they see relationships with men as inherently oppressive, they demand six-figure and up men. Because if they have to subject themselves to a relationship that they see as inherently oppressive, you better come with the money to buy them and their time. until they decide to torpedo that relationship. Once again, I would like to direct you to the divorce rate in America and who files. That's why this is important. That's why Mr. Z is covering this. Because you got black women, black young women, younger women, youngish women. They're not necessarily young. Advocating for political lesbianism. Right? Your friends over your man, that's political lesbianism. That's your female friends over your man, your boyfriend, your fiance, your husband. Political lesbianism. That's lightweight political lesbianism. That's women up, men down. That's political lesbianism. Just like y'all look at it sideways when you hear a rapper say that, dear ladies. Because you know black women be the first person to call you LGBTQ. They'll be the first person to call a black man, a straight black man, LGBTQ, especially if you want to hang out with his friends, if he ignore his call just because he's chilling with his friends. And these same women then turn around and be the most LGBTQ people in America. I'm not making that up. Black women are the most LGBTQ people in America. And while being the most LGBTQ people in America, they'll advocate for it. But yet you're the gay one, black man. Okay, yeah, that's it. And by the way, for all the LGBTQ people out there, when black women call black straight men LGBTQ, that's an insult. It's not a descriptor, it's an insult. Because they purposely direct that towards straight black men. They don't call gay black men gay as an insult. They call straight black men gay as an insult. They imply it, they suggest it. Right? So I definitely wanted to share this with y'all today because we have to dispel this myth of why these women are single. Mr. Z is always going to come to y'all on, hey, dear Dr. Umar Johnson, stop lecturing the men. Y'all been doing that for decades, and what has it gotten y'all? Nothing, because you let the women skate. That little pow pow you give the women, the little tap on the wrist, what has that done over the past few decades? Yikes, nothing. You know what you got with the women over that? Them bringing back the color purple. That's what you get. Goddamn. Women like Yanny, that's what you get. Women like Chrissy, that's what you get. Black women taking a white racist woman, calling black men nakers, and now black women are saying it all over the internet. That's what you get. Black women that have made themselves so insufferable, they advocate for swirling and divesting, and black women open up their options, and black women have been trying that for decades, and it's failing because black men are the trash men of the dating world. If you can't make it work with black men, dear black women, you can't make it work with no man. Uh-oh. See, that's the open kept secret that the black community refuses to tell black women. Dear black women, in vast majority, if you can't make it work with black men, you can't make it work with no man. Because the standards only go up from here. Well, have fun. The criticism only goes up from here. Go ask Ryan Lochte. God damn. Go ask K. Michelle. Yikes. Go ask Halle Berry. Oops. Right? Right? So yeah, it's real like that. You know? Loneliness and singleness loves company. Once again, to Yanny's friends, wherever you are. To Real Talk with Yanny's friends, wherever you are. Yanny telling you, hey, y'all done left me for y'all man and y'all family. Well, to hell with you. When y'all go through a little rough patch, when y'all break up, when you just want to vent about him, I ain't gonna be there. Right? I'm not gonna be there as what? Punishment because you chose that no good Negro over me. I'm your friend. I'll be there, right? Alexa, play CC Winans and Whitney Houston, please. So, you know, listening to this video, you see this young lady kind of chastise these women that they put their man first, their husband, their boyfriend, their fiance first, above their friends, because they're practicing or working on a relationship that might lead to marriage, that would lead to children and lead to a family. And how dare you do that before me, moi, your friend, right? This is what loneliness look like. This is what singleness looks like, particularly for women like Yanny, who once again financially is good. She told you she got a nice. She's another one that told you she has a nice apartment, right? She has a nice apartment. She has a nice BMW, right? So Yanny is feeling the effects of what Lonnie Love and Wendy Williams spoke about, but her pride won't let her admit it. What is Mr. Z saying? Lonnie Love and Wendy Williams admitted walking into their house, and all you hear is, it's lonely, right? It's lonely. And Yanny's pride won't admit it. So she's trying to lean on her friends to get over the fact that she can't make it work with men. And what Yanny told us is she's not going back to that dark place, right? Didn't you say that, Yanny? The heartbreak drove you damn near insane? Whatever relationship you were in before? Yanny, we're adults. And I got to give her credit for this. Dear men and women, if you ain't built for it, stay on the porch. What they say, if you scared, go to church, right? Shout out to Snoop and Ice Cube. Stay on the porch. Because when you're dating another breathing, thinking, feeling human being with their own thoughts and feelings, sometimes you're going to clash. Sometimes there's going to be a schism. Sometimes it's going to be a rough patch. There's going to be a disagreement. Y'all might break up for a little bit. Y'all might break up permanently. And if you're not built for the heartache, which there's data that comes out more and more that says, emotional pain hits people like physical pain. Your brain registers it as physical pain. If you ain't built for it, then stay out the boxing gym. Stay out. Stay on the porch. Right? So now you're trying to lean on friends because you can't make it work with men, and you're so deathly afraid of a heartbreak. of being disappointed, of being let down? You mean being an adult? Being a human being that's trying to make it work with another human being? Yanny, you could become a swirler LGBTQ person. You'll still be subject to interacting with another human being with their own thoughts and feelings, etc., etc. Maybe this is why black women are the most same-sex loving women. Oh, excuse me, said that wrong. Maybe that's why black women are the most same-sex loving group of people on the planet. Excuse me, in America, not on the planet, in America. Because the only people they can make it work with is them. And apparently not even, because that DV rate in those relationships is astronomical. See, the biggest lie is, oh, it doesn't work with black men. No, it doesn't work with any man. And apparently it doesn't work with any non-black women either. Apparently it doesn't even work with black women. That's why y'all thumping in those houses, in those apartments, in those condos. Maybe this is why black, and you know, Richard Reeves did a blink and you'll miss it comment to that. I'm sorry, let me say this again for the ladies, because you know they don't want to hear nothing no black man got to say. Dr. Richard Reeves, researcher, been doing this his entire adult life, worked for the British Parliament at one point, excuse me, for the British government at one point. Dr. Richard Reeves. Yeah, ladies, your dear black women, what y'all doing is not surprising to anybody that do any research. Can't make it work with black men, can't make it work with non-black men, can't make it work with non-black women. So same-sex loving black women is the way to go. Now we have Yanny low-key advocating for political lesbianism. And I know if Yanny hears this, she gonna think that's not what she's saying. Yanny, that's what you're saying. That's what you're saying. And by the way, there is absolutely nothing wrong with that. That's what you and the lady that you posted are saying. And there's nothing wrong with that. I just want Dr. Umar Johnson to stop talking to black men like there's something wrong with black men when this is what the women are on. I want America to stop telling men in general, black men specifically, to break ourselves for these women. Right? And not only are they single and lonely, now they're trying to get other women to be on that single, lonely cat lady thing. Go through Yanny's comments. And it's just a sea of women clapping it up for that video. Whether they're in relationships or not. Miserable. Right? And I would rather have this. I would rather be single than do what y'all dealing with. You know who else said that? Chrissy. Huh. The single women keep on telling you they would rather be single. While they cover in situations with people in relationships. Well, damn. And these are women that's making good YouTube money. You know they making six-figure YouTube money, right? They got to be making six-figure YouTube money, if not close to. And if, from my understanding, Chrissy still kept her 9-to-5 job. So you got your 9-to-5 job and you making good YouTube money. So that means you're in your luxury apartment and you lament being in there by yourself. Yeah, Chrissy, I'm never gonna let you live that down. That means that singleness and that loneliness is it's hitting y'all. It's hitting you, Yanny. And your pride, you could try to mask it behind pride all you want. and decentering men all you want. By the way, that's another feminist, particularly lesbian feminist talking point, right? That's particularly radical feminists talking about. Yes, feminists go there, but really radical feminists go there. And you know what else radical feminists advocated for, Yanny? Political lesbianism. I'm not joking. I'm not trying to be hyperbolic. Yes, they did. Yes, they do. Right? Homegirl in the video said, abandon your friends. You abandoned your friends. You left your friends in the club. You left your. What? You see how they register what this young lady is saying? This lady has said, hey, if my man call, I'm out. And they see that as you abandoning them. You putting your man before your friends is abandoning your friends. This is lesbian talk. This is radical feminist lesbian talk. I'm not attempting to be hyperbolic here by saying that, by the way. Right? No wonder you could come up with another color purple. And I guarantee they emphasize the LGBTQ part of it this time. Don't be surprised if they come out with 4-color girls again in 15, 20 years. I give it another 5 to 10 years before they decide to do Waiting to Excel again. Right? Just getting women, black women in particular, nice and comfortable in that single miserable place where they pretend like they're not miserable, but they really are until they're in a relationship and they finally break down and tell you how miserable they were when they were single. Shout out to Lonnie Love again. Right? Huh. Abandon your friends. That's the way they see it. That's the way they register this. A woman putting her man, whether that's her boyfriend, her fiance, her husband, before her friends, is abandoning her friends. Now, the easy comment is to ask y'all to look at how the young lady that said, I'm going to my man, right? How she looked compared to how the other sister looked. That's the easy part. That's easy. Because you think like that, and then you make it a video and you look like that. This is another Kim Foster, by the way. There's a theme here, everyone. There is a theme here. And no one likes for men to say it out loud. Right? And D. Scott, thank you for the super chat. And D. Scott says what? Hashtag Keisha, what's that? Keisha needs a hug. Keisha needs a hug. 2 generation of glorified, pros, we'll say. And this is where we are. Oh, well, eat the cake. Right? And thank you for the super chat. But like, share, subscribe, hit the super chat. And thank you for the super chat again, D. Scott. All right. And the young lady did say single is better than whatever this person has going on, right? Which we've heard multiple times. We've heard Yanny say it. We've heard this young lady say it, whoever Yanny's covering. We've heard Chrissy say it. These people say that. And every once in a while, you'll listen to them talk long enough and they'll lament being single. because it's not about being single. Y'all are not just single. I already said I'm Mr. Z is like you being single. That's part of life. At times we're single. You're lonely. You're not just single. You are lonely, right? Yanny, you're not just single. You're lonely, and you're trying to hide behind your pride and behind your accomplishments on YouTube and your YouTube personality and your subscriber base. And now you're trying to hide behind your friends. You're lonely, Yanny. Especially now you have all the bubbles of financial success. That loneliness shines even more because you're not on the hamster wheel trying to acquire these things. You have them. That's why the loneliness is kicking you in the butt because you can't be distracted by being on the hamster wheel trying to acquire these things. This is when money's not good enough. Dear Yanni, you accomplish what a lot of Americans are trying to do. When the things that you're worried about, you can't buy. Your money can't buy. Yanni, you can't buy a dude to deal with maybe what your attitude is, your demeanor, your snarkiness, your sarcasm. Right? And you're not trying to buy no man anyway. That's great. Well, right? That's Chrissy's issue also. That was Kim Foster's issue also before she ended up in this relationship. You want to see miserable? You want to see miserable? Find a woman with some money that's single. Right? Particularly a black woman. Find a woman that with some money all across the West, all across the developed world. The same type of comments you heard from the Chinese women in the little mini dog covering the Chinese women with some money. Same thing you hear from some of the Japanese women. Same thing you hear from the Korean women. Same thing you hear from the Western European women. Same thing you hear from the white American women. Same thing you hear from a couple of Latinas. Same thing you hear from black women. Once you give them some money and they're comfortable financially or they're doing well financially, and they done outpaced the majority of their male counterparts, and they only want the top 10%, the top 5%, the top 1%, oh, now you got an issue. Because the top 1% of man under the age of 40, under the age of 45 is having fun, whether he's married or not. Goddamn, I wasn't supposed to say that out loud. And his female counterpart that's earning similar, uh-oh. If she ain't land him early, now she got an issue. Ain't that right, Yanny? Ain't that right, Chrissy? Y'all let Paris sneak under the door on y'all. If Paris wouldn't have met that dude and she would have got successful and gave it another 2, 3, 4 years, oh no, she wouldn't be married neither. By the way, this is not the fault of the men, ladies. This is you. This is you and the way you think and the way you feel about relationships and about no struggle love, and you ain't paying no man's way through life. Ain't that right, Ebony K. Williams? Goddamn. You ain't going 50-50. Ain't that right, the ladies that were on the beach? Watch my previous video, by the way, if y'all don't know what I'm referring to. Right? Huh. So singleness and loneliness. I know singleness is not a word, is it? I don't think so. But loneliness is. Mr. Z, use it anyway. Singleness and loneliness can't even get it out. Loves company. And Real Talk with Yanny is an example of that. Because here she is advocating for political lesbianism, whether she realizes it or not. And dear Yanny, you live in a free country. You could advocate for political lesbianism. You could advocate for seeing men as nothing but resource providers and overglorified guard dogs. You can do that. You can advocate for women to only be with the most well-to-do man they can find. But I wonder if you also advocate for polygamy and if you're okay with women street fighting over the rich dudes. Y'all really don't fully think out what you're talking about and what you're advocating for. You say it, but do you really consider what this means on a societal level? Of course not. Right? The young lady said these women abandon their friends for these dudes and don't come back over here. I hope you go back to your family because you ain't coming over here, right? Okay, yawn. Right? And Better You says, and thank you for the super chat, to what you said a bit ago, one of my friends in a film told me that there are several organizations that provide filmmakers money for including LGBTQ characters in their stories. I wouldn't be surprised. Under some type of diversity quota plan or something like that, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, y'all got an LGBTQ person in your television show, in your movies, all right, or in your commercials, cool. And that helps women in which way? Oh, it helps women to feel better about being single and miserable. Shout out to Tracy Ellis Ross. Uh-oh. Hey, these are Tracy Ellis Ross words that they gave her a different way of viewing relationships and et cetera, et cetera. And this is a pretty attractive 50-something-year-old woman. Still can't make it work with men. I said it already. Tracy Ellis Ross, that got to be the most disappointing story. You're connected on your dad's side and your mom's side. Jewish on one side, black pop star on the other side. Sorry, not just Jewish. Well-to-do, wealthy Jewish on one side. And world-renowned, world-famous pop star mom on the other side. And you couldn't make it work with men? White, black, Latino, Asian, Arab, Persian, whatever. That's you. So yeah, I'm not surprised. Better You. Yeah, but you know, they include these LGBTQ characters in different movies and TV shows, and you know, women use them as their little discount man, right? They can't deal with straight men and what straight men got to say or how straight men think or feel, so they go ask some LGBTQ person. And yes, Mr. Z saw the video of O'Shea Dude Jackson covering Amanda Seales, and let's pause right here and talk about it for a couple minutes. It's very interesting, right? And O'Shea Duke Jackson covered Amanda Seales covering the story with Keke Palmer and her apparently at this point ex dude, right? Her baby's father. And Amanda Seales went on a little rant about how I guess the apple don't fall far from the tree when it comes to brothers, because she got into it with, I guess it was, oh, and I remember that story. I guess it was his brother that pretty much said that she was making the set miserable. Right? So she brought that back up and rehashed it in the room with the LGBTQ brother. And that's why I'm bringing this up. Dear black women, women in general, black women, you don't get no discount dealing with the LGBTQ brothers that are blowing smoke up your rear end and clapping it up for you and and aha. Right? You go, girl. I know you think you saying something because he's a man. Yeah, he's a man. Yes, he is a man. But the LGBTQ brothers, when it comes to their opinions about relationships with men and women, heterosexuals, whether it's a platonic relationship between a straight man and a straight woman or a romantic one, they're not saying nothing. Dear Khadijah, I see what you're doing. And shout out to that LGBTQ brother that you bringing on. He got an interesting perspective. But no, ladies, no. Y'all trying to get masculinity on a discount. Y'all trying to get manhood on a discount by having LGBTQ brothers back up your insanity, because they don't got to go home They don't have to perform in a heterosexual way. They don't know what this is over here. It's the same thing a lot of the women on the grapevine used to do with Donovan. That's cute. But then when you done getting smoke blown up your rear end by the LGBTQ brothers, now you got to come back in the straight world and deal with what straight men think, and it doesn't work. Uh-oh. Leave what the LGBTQ brother or just LGBTQ person told you at the door, because it ain't working over here. Uh-oh. And O'Shea Jackson called it for what it is. Y'all always trying to bring in some LGBTQ brothers to co-sign your foolishness, and they always clapping it up for y'all. Oh, yeah, girl. Huh. Meanwhile, you single as hell. And Amanda Seals isn't a bad looking woman. All these women be okay looking or attractive, and they be single as hell. It's you. I'm a man. I'm telling you how much of us, especially black men, will break themselves for an attractive woman. And let's be honest, we live in a colorist world. I know brothers don't like to hear it. I know. You a light-skinned black woman, and you're relatively attractive, and you don't got no man, it's you. In America, oh yeah, it's definitely you. You don't got a black man. You know how much attitude black men can eat? How much snarkiness black men can eat? If you don't got no man, that means you're insufferable. You break the goddamn Richter scale. If you're an attractive, lighter-skinned black woman in America and you don't got no black man, that means you're so insufferable you break the goddamn Richter scale. If you a slim, dark chocolate, Lupita Kelly Rowland looking, Keisha from Belly looking black woman, and you don't got no man, that means you're so insufferable you break the goddamn Richter scale. All of these okay looking attractive women, single as hell, can't make it work with no one. They done dated the black dude, can't make it work. They done secretly dated the white dude, can't make it work. They done been to jump off the Latino dude at work, they can't make it work. That means it's you, ladies. It's you. And now they come on the internet advocating for political lesbianism. If you don't get your loser self, it's called a mirror. Look into it. Ponder. Right? And once again, thank you for the super chat, Better You. Right? And the poor man's passport guide says, and thank you for the super chat, I'm too old to know these women you talking about, but I sure can relate. Right? And what's the Deborah lady? Y'all be and what's interesting is the women of Mr. Z's age, mid-30s, late 20s, early 30s, right? Late 30s. We watch so many of these women that are older in their 50s and their 60s just being old, miserable hags. And the ones with some wisdom, the Diane Carrolls that give you a bit of wisdom, y'all can't hear nothing they saying. And y'all gravitate to the miserable ones that's putting on a show and telling you how they all right. And you know they not all right, but you trying to justify what you're on. And there's nothing wrong with that. Once again, Mr. Z is putting this video out for the Dr. Umar Johnsons to stop lecturing us. Dr. Umar Johnson, this is how your daughters sound. And I know Dr. Umar Johnson's daughters are definitely younger than this, but still, Dr. Umar Johnson, this is how your daughters sound. These are the women you want us to make wives out of. Chrissy and Real Talk with Yanny and Cynthia G, who looked you in the face and advocated for aborting black male sons. Black males. I don't know why I say black male sons. Right. Right. So yeah, poor man's passport guide. I definitely hear you because we see it. I had a LGBTQ sister tell me, and she's perpetually single. She don't even be working for women with her, but and she's the more butch one. Tell me, she had two single aunts. One of them passed away single. The other one is single right now, alive. And so she knows she could be single, and then she'll make it do. She'll make it work. And I just looked at her like, what a miserable life. You're stable. You're doing okay in life, right? You're not rich by any means. You're not balling, but you can afford a couple of nice things. You're doing okay. You're single. You're earning 50 something thousand dollars a year. At the time for her, she was earning like 40 some odd $1,000 a year, right? Had a roommate, which okay, now you're Irish. You at the very bottom of I. She told me how much her apartment was. I knew how much her car note was. So she yeah, you know for someone in there at the time late 20s, you got a couple more decades left. You're not doing horribly. 40 something $1,000 a year at 28, 29 years old. That's not bad. It ain't great, but it's not bad. And you tell me about your aunts, and you don't see that as miserable. And maybe it's not. Look, once again, we live in a free country. Different people have different perspectives, different experiences. But it is very interesting to see people throw a temper tantrum at life, right? To be petulant children, not at just individuals, but at ideas and concepts and the idea of a nuclear family. And I'm tying this right back to Yanny, right? And the idea of like a person that you may hold dear as a friend saying, I hold you dear, but this other person takes precedent because I'm attempting to build something with this person. You can't hold me at night as my girlfriend. I'm a woman. You can't hold me at night. You can't go see what goes bump in the night if something goes bump in the night at 3 o'clock in the morning, 2 o'clock in the morning. We're both women. We're both gonna be looking at each other like, girl, what you gonna do? Shit, what are you gonna do? Right? As Jason Black said, what women, name me a friend that don't let you borrow $1,000, but that'll spend $500-$600 on you without blinking an eye. $400 purses. Pay for you to go to a nice restaurant. Pay for vacation. And not on some IOU type thing. And to see women like Yanny and the young lady she covered kind of advocating for this political lesbianism, right? And calling it abandoning your friends because you put your man first. As a woman, you put your man first, right? And once again, thank you for the super chat, brother. The poor man's passport guide. I like this, right? And Mr. Shook to you says, I'm late to the party. Just watch the video. That is one bitter bish. Isn't it? Mr. Shook to you, you hear that? You hear that bitterness? How dare you put a man before our friendship? These are the same women that hear men say G's up, O's down, and look at you like you LGBTQ. And then they turn around and then advocate for the same thing. Right? And I want to say this again. Y'all have heard Mr. Z say this. Just because they word it different, dear Dr. Umar Johnson, dear Dr. Richard Reeves, right? Just because these women word it different does not mean your daughters are not a-holes. It doesn't mean that they're not advocating for women first, men second, because women hold a moral high ground above men. So when we do it, we're doing it in response to men. When we say something, when we advocate for something, we're doing it as a response. And I really want to emphasize that advocate, because Yanny and this young lady are not just talking about themselves. They're saying, dear friends, if you put your boyfriend, your husband, your fiance above me, I will make you pay when y'all inevitably don't work, or when y'all have a rough patch, or when you want to vent about your relationship and when you want to vent about him. I will remind you that you put that no good Negro before me, your friend. I'm a woman. I'm your friend. No matter what did Kim Foster say? No matter what I got going on romantically, it's always women first, right? I know women will really have my back. Right? So you have LGBTQ black women advocating for political lesbianism. You have straight black women advocating for political lesbianism. Huh. And Yanni, you posted this because what? To warn black women that putting men first is going to inevitably lead to heartache, to heartbreak, right? Inevitably, it's heartbreak and heartache, right? This is political lesbianism. And no placeholder says, and thank you for the super chat. Let them go it alone. They belong to the government, right? No placeholder. They belong to each other. Giggity. No placeholder. They belong to each other, right? This is low level advocating for eating the box. Y'all gonna moonwalk right into eating the box. That's all. Right? And as I said before, Yanni posted this to black women in general, but this is really about her friends. Like, she made the video already lamenting her friends pretty much choosing their significant other over her, over the friendship circle. Meanwhile, Mr. Z could not see his friends for months on end, and we're still friends. And none of them doing you picking her over me? Because you know that sounds LGBTQ and rainbow. They know if they call, I'll answer. If I don't answer, I'll call them back. But this, you're picking him over me. You're picking a man over the friend circle, the sisterhood. So when men say G's up, O's down, there's a tinge of of same-sex loving type of talk, right? We all hear it, and the women make fun of it. But when the women say the same thing, just in different words, right? They're not LGBTQ. We don't look at them sideways, right? We don't look at them as bitter. No, 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 no. No, we don't. Mm-mm. Right? So yeah, no placeholder. I'll disagree with that a little bit and say no, they're not advocating. I mean, excuse me, they don't belong to the government. They belong to each other. Right? Now the government still run this, but they belong to each other. This is like the beginnings of the hive model, right? Y'all are witnessing women advocating for that. Black women, notice black women particularly advocating for the hive model, living with each other, right? What does BGS call it? The gyno-potestal network, something along those lines. Living with each other, raising their children with each other, full blown matriarchy, full blown matriarchy, gynocracy, if you want to be accurate. And you're watching black women that don't know and what's very interesting is because like they don't know these particular people, right? I'm almost certain that Yanny doesn't even know about radical feminism and its ideas, and I'm pretty sure she didn't watch the documentary that I covered, right? I'm almost certain. So it's almost as if she's coming to these on her own, not realizing you're saying something, first of all, at least decades old. And I'm pretty sure if we flip over some old Roman books written in Latin, will be some Roman women saying the same thing a couple thousand years ago. You're not saying anything new, by the way, Yanny. Just number one. Our lesbos, anyone. Number one. But number two, as she's coming up on this, and other black women are coming up on this, that's what makes it fascinating, is that they're saying this out loud on the internet. So they're making Dr. Umar Johnson's job that much more difficult. Because how do you chastise us now when the women are telling you no matter what, it's women up, men down? Even in their individual situation, they're chastising their friends for putting their man first. Dr. Umar Johnson, what can you say to that? It doesn't matter what what Abrahamic religion you believe in, at least. They all pretty much say cleave to your spouse type talk. Your spouse comes before everyone else, even your parents. Whether it's Judaism, Islam, or Christianity, all of them pretty much say the same thing. Your spouse comes first, even before your children. Yikes. And yet Yanny is like urinating on all of that. And other black women are urinating over all of that and saying, no, the sisterhood comes first. Uh-oh. Right? The sisterhood comes first. Dear Richard Reeves, what are we supposed to, Dr. Richard Reeves, what are we supposed to do with that? Dr. Scott Galloway, what are we supposed to do with that? Dr. Umar Johnson, what are we supposed to do with that? Right? Now do you see why white men are pulling back affirmative action? Roe versus Wade, no student loan debt forgiveness. Yanny, they're not gonna let white women sound as bad as you. They got a whiff of that over the past couple decades and they can't deal with it. They're already pulling back. White men got a whiff of it. They're not even hearing full fat black women talk like you, Yanny. They're not hearing the full weight of what this looked like, and they can't even take it. So no placeholder. I get what you're saying, but brother, no. Yeah, the government's definitely in on this, but no, these women belong to each other. This is the hive model at work. This is political lesbianism. Lightweight because, from my understanding, Yanny is not same-sex loving. Neither is Kim Foster. But listen to how they speak, listen to how they advocate. Right? And every once in a while, a LGBTQ sister in their comments will be clapping it up for them and say, that's why I don't mess with men neither. That's why I don't mess with men. Go to Kim Foster's comment section when she made those couple videos. They're in there. I read those comments. Then they're using LGBTQ ideology and concepts to deal with the fact that they're single and they can't make it work with men. Dear Tracy Ellis Ross. Right? And Mr. Shook to you says, women first, cat second, dog third, kids fourth, men? Men question mark. Men are not in the picture. You are just here to drop off genetic material and leave. Drop off genetic material, stay long enough for the child to start walking. Once the child can walk and say its first couple words, yeah, your pink slip is in the mail. Right? And maybe these people don't really grasp what this means. And I'm saying this about like doctorate level people. So I'm not, it's just a figure of speech at this point. But maybe they don't really get it. Like, once again, was that the 60-minute interview with the young black women, what, in the 80s? Was that the early 80s? Where they all said, like, I don't want, I have a kid from him. I don't want him. I don't want to take care of no man, do right by no man. That's Yanny. That's Chrissy. That's this young lady that Yanny covered. Once again, if I have to be with a man, if I have to be in a relationship that I see as inherently oppressive, and a heterosexual relationship with a man that I see as inherently oppressive, then he has to come with a whole lot of money and a whole lot of status. But definitely the money. Like, when you see feminist ideology as just female empowerment, then you don't get it. Because you think it stops there. And you're not really conceptual. You don't really consider what capitalism and feminism, late stage capitalism and feminism, does to the way women think about relationships with men. That's why I'm such a fan of Green Gorilla's work, especially the one where he covered feminism and capitalism and how they're ripping the nuclear family apart. Because the way women think of relationships, not men, women. Right? So yeah, Mr. Shook, to you, it's definitely men question mark. Women first, cats second, dog third, kids fourth, men question mark? Exactly. Men what? Men where? Men, are they in the picture? This society is going to have to come to terms with the white, the black, the Latina, the Asian, etc. versions of Yanny, of Chrissy. And come to terms with the fact that women file for 70 and 80% of divorces and 80+% of breakups. They initiate 80% plus of breakups. And they speak like this, and the society doesn't blink an eye when seemingly well-mannered or well-situated women low-key advocate for political lesbianism. Oh, can we come up with a term called political single by what? How am I going to phrase that? Political singleness. Make it a stand, a political stand by being single, which wouldn't matter if it was just one or two women. Once again, here's white men pulling back Roe versus Wade. And affirmative action. Here go white men. Oh, you want to be single to make a political stand? If it's one white woman, two, five, 10. Oh, nope. Can't do it. 15, 20%? Definitely not. And white men said, no, we're going to make you need us. We don't care if you want us. We're going to make you need us. Right? Because too many white women started sounding like Yanny. Baller or nothing. I'll have sex recklessly with whoever I want. Have children whenever I want. Hey, Mr. Z is not a, believe it or not, I'm not. I'm not against it. You got to deal with those consequences, though. You got to eat that. Right? And we're here now. So black women could continue to practice political lesbianism, but white men said, white women? Oh, yeah, nope. Forget the legislator. We're going, excuse me, forget the legislature. We're going straight to the Supreme Court with this. Ain't no debate. Well, right. And once again, thank you for the super chat, Mr. Shook to you. And no placeholder says, and thank you for the super chat. Still need the taxes and labor from the men. Of course. Of course. But I don't got to see you, though. Right? I could play plausible deniability and act like I don't know that men are the primary taxpayers in America. Let me say that one more again. Black men are the primary taxpayers in Black America. God damn. Put in more hours, employ more people, have better credit scores, have less debt. Uh-oh, black women. So I just wanted to come to y'all with this today, so we could talk about these seemingly heterosexual women advocating for political lesbianism, right? Directing this towards their heterosexual friends, right? So how's this supposed to work? Who said in my comments the previous video, Golden Girls? And you have black women that look at that series as something to aspire to. Y'all want to aspire to Golden Girls. And there's nothing wrong with that. But it is great that it's on record. The internet is forever, everyone. That's why I'm careful what I say. The internet is forever, everyone. Dear ladies, I get it. You're throwing a temper tantrum over the internet because your life isn't going exactly the way you want it. So you saying things. some of which you mean, some of which you don't mean, but you're enraged. So you just talking, but everything you're saying is on record. Everything you're advocating for now. Yeah, okay, yeah, you're angry in your late 20s because men won't bow to you and pay your way through life. Or you're angry, you're in your mid 30s because you want to be single. Oh, excuse me. You want to be in a relationship, but you don't want to have children. You want a man, but you don't want to have children. Or you want to be in a relationship, but yet you want freedom at the same time. Okay, whatever. Right? And men ain't signing up for what you got going on. So you're throwing a temper tantrum all over the internet. You're being a petulant child all over the internet. And it's on record. Chrissy, what you're saying is on record. Yanny, what you're saying is on record. And you know what makes it worse? Is your pride won't let you reel that back. It won't let you do it now. And it probably won't let you do it in 15, 20 years. Even when you want to, your pride won't let you. What you're saying is on record, people. Dear black women, all this weirdo talk because you angry because the type of men that you want don't find you attractive or you can't keep them. They'll have sex with you, they'll chill with you for a little bit, but you can't keep them. So you all over the interwebs throwing a fit, talking crazy and reckless. It's on the internet. Worshiping white men, it's on the internet. Calling black men all type of nakers, it's on the internet. Advocating for aborting black boys, black sons, it's on the internet. Turning everything into a conversation about colorism, it's on the internet. Saying it's baller man or nothing, it's on the internet. Asking what's the incentive? Yanny, it's on the internet. Poking fun at Tyree Nichols' death and being snarky and sarcastic about it. Dear Paris Milan, it's on the internet. Forever. Dear Paris Milan's husband, you saw her do that. You married her anyway. All right, bro. All right. Or maybe you already married to her. I think you were already married to her. All right. Right? All of these things are on the internet, people. And the internet is forever. It'd be one thing if you were a private person, and you are, most of you, we still don't know what you look like the, Lexus Exodus or Mahogany Pink or Chrissy or, But Cynthia G, Yanny, Paris, so of course Cynthia G gonna double and triple down, quadruple down, because she can't move. Where can you go? How do you do a mea culpa for advocating for aborting black sons? That's why you see Crystalline Kerrison even after the divorce from the white man, the mythical, magical white man, even after the divorce, she's still sounding crazy. Now they got Themis. Themis is their little, LGBTQ brother that they bring around to clap it up for them and sound just like them. Look, we got this man that agree with us. You mean the gay brother? Right? The gay brother that you could tell is waging his own war against straight black men. So it's gay black man that has an issue with straight black men, and then black straight women that have an issue with straight black men, and y'all teaming up, right? This is Voltron. Right? Huh. The internet is for everyone. Excuse me. The internet is forever. And this is on record. Everything y'all saying, this political lesbianism is on record. Let's see how this works. Right? Let's see how this works. And Passport OG, thank you very much. That looks like a yin, right? And Passport OG says, white men got Pearl leading the charge. Read the room, black women. Right? And don't she? Isn't she? Isn't she? Excuse me, I said don't she? Isn't she? But they can't hear it. They can't hear it. Right? They don't see other white women trying to get white women together. And a handful of black women trying to get black women together. But they don't see all these white women, mainly conservatives, but even some liberals, saying, all right, maybe we took this too far. What about our population? What about our future? We can't hold up the sky by ourselves financially. And quite frankly, we don't want to. That's what some of these white women are saying. Right? We done undermined the Negro. We done moved him out the paint. We have his women in our back pocket. We could use that as the attack dog on him. We got what we wanted. We took pretty much all of affirmative action. Right? We siphoned off the last little bit of money that those Negroes could have used coming out of the civil rights movement. We done siphoned it right into white women's pocket, which means right into the white family's pocket, because we got married more than they did. We stayed married more than they did. Right? So yeah, we got to come back to our white family. We got to do the white nuclear family. We have to pump out these white babies, these white sons. Right? And black women, right? With their limitless anger and rage at black men, they can't see it. They can't hear it. Or maybe even worse, they do. And they're so, I said this before, and I think I got it from Jeff Brown, which is, you ever seen someone that's so angry they'll shoot a hole in a boat knowing they can't swim but hoping you can't either? They're so angry at you, they'll shoot a hole in the boat knowing they can't swim but thinking and hoping that you can't swim too. And I think there's many Western women, but we're black women that are on that type of time. That's their sentiment. And so they speak ill of black men, speak positively of non-black men. And as you can see now, when that clearly has reached its market cap, then they start speaking about this political lesbianism and saying it in a way where they don't realize that's what they're saying, or they don't care. But that's what you're leading to. And if it's not political lesbianism, political singleness. They're just overtly saying, I would rather be single. They're saying that straight up. Chrissy done said it. Yanny has said it. This young lady has said it. The other dark-skinned young lady I covered a few weeks ago off of TikTok, I think O'Shea Duke Jackson covered her. And then I covered that video. She said it also. They would rather be single. And there's nothing wrong with that. But dear Dr. Umar Johnson, If they're telling you that, then you can't turn around and chastise black men for not picking them up. They told you they would rather be single. If they can't have the baller dude, they would rather be single. And the baller dude better still let them do whatever they want. So, in other words, dear Mr. Baller, dear Mr. Rich Guy, dear Mr. Well Off, dear Mr. Upperly Mobile, upper class, upper middle class, pay all the bills. What did Yanny said? I want to be a kept woman in leisure. Excuse me, a kept woman of leisure, and yet still say nothing of my behavior if there's something wrong with it. Eat my snarkiness. Eat my sarcasm. Eat my condescending attitude. Eat my attitude, period. And still pay my way through life. And if, let's be honest, when I divorce you, let me get that alimony out of you. Except, of course, if you're from my home state of Florida. Lifetime alimony is out of here. Ron DeSantis did something right. He might be a slime ball. He is a slime ball. But he did something right. Right? Huh. Trail Billy. I'm not even going to read it out loud. But yes. Oh, hey, did y'all see this? Wait a minute. Smoke bomb just went off. I hear some ruffling in trees. Oh, wait, it's Nameless. And Nameless, the Nameless protagonist is the silent generation mother who never wanted kids or to be married, casting her shadow all through the ages to the present. Indeed, Mr. Z. Thank you, Nameless. That's all I'm saying. Right? Like I said, this political lesbianism isn't new. And I guarantee you that and I'll be super surprised if that Color Purple remake doesn't emphasize or doesn't show some of the same sex loving thing that they didn't show in the movie. Or that they omitted in the movie because the movie came out in the 80s and we weren't really there yet. The society wasn't accepting yet. Oh, but 40 years later, oh, you better believe it. And what era was that supposed to be portraying, right? So definitely, Nameless is spot on, right? So yeah, everybody, I just wanted to bring this to y'all. There's no point in kind of going on too much, but Compassionate said, "Of course they will." Where's that comment, right? Detroit said, "Ninja time," right? So I just wanted y'all to see this because when she posted it, I saw it and I'm like, this is a message to your friends. This is you chose that Negro over me, and Negro is not the word she thinking. How dare you? How dare you put a black man over me, your friend, a black woman, part of the sisterhood? You put a black man over me? And he not a baller? How dare you? And that's what Yanny's saying, and that's what Chrissy's. Well, no, let's don't put words in Chrissy's mouth. She ain't say that. That's what Yanny's saying. That's what this other young lady that she posted is saying. Mr. Z talking about LGBTQ here. I'm watching two of them pass by on a moped. Right? But they weren't black. I ain't gonna lie. They weren't black women. These are white women. Huh. International Ronan said, "Don't act like you're leaving. You're going to hang for another half an hour." Now, actually, Z gotta go. Z gotta go. Z gotta go get something to eat and then sleep because I gotta be to work at 3, right? So I'm cutting real close with the hours. This is so not healthy. I even gonna tell Nameless and Toya how horrible my diet is now. It's horrible. My diet plus the lack of sleep. I'm not even gonna tell y'all. Right? I'm working on it though. I'm working on it. We try to maneuver things around. Right? I had to get to the money first. Now I gotta maneuver things around so that I could be here in 3, 4 decades, 5 decades, possibly. Right? So, on that note, you know, yeah, I definitely have to cover this because I wanna show what political lesbianism in its infancy, there we go, looks like. What it looks like, the baby steps of advocating for it, because you're so frustrated. And also, I wanted this to forward this to the Dr. Umar Johnsons of the Black community to say, what are you talking about? These are your daughters. Listen to how they sound. You're telling us that we messing up with these women, right? Women that sound like this. You real talk with Yanny and whoever this is who she posted on her channel. We're not turning women like these into wives. So we're at fault. Okay, yeah, that's it. Right? Sacrilege, Trail, sacrilege. Trail said, I ate Popeyes yesterday, still no biscuits. Sacrilege. Right? K-Dot said, did you see my comment? He was going to leave. Oh, yeah. Let me read that. I actually did read that. Give me a second. I did skim over that comment. And K-Dot says, you said, did you hear about Vincent? He was going to cheat on his black wife because she abuses him. So I think K-Dot is referring to Vincent LeBeau, our resident neo-Nazi with the black wife, right? White whole eugenics advocator, right? Advocates for eugenics, obviously on black men, and he has a black wife, and so apparently he was going to cheat on her because she abuses him. Welcome to the club, Mr. Vincent LeBeau. You thought you were safe. Okay, Dad, I'm gonna check out what you're talking about. Let me see if you can put the link in the comments later, and we'll see. We might cover that. But white men, y'all really think y'all be safe? That's why them Asian women be taking y'all, them Latinas be taking y'all, black women be taking y'all. Yeah, you're white men in a white racist society in on a white dominated planet currently, but that still don't mean you safe, player. You're not safe. You think you're safe from women being women because you're white. Nah, they'll marry you first. They'll say I do to you first because what white skin means on this planet currently. But after they get comfortable, and definitely if you ain't signed no type of alimony, oh, that's your ass. See you in divorce court. Anyway, and then you mess around and marry a woman that hates black men because you hate black men. Oh yeah. Let's see how that works. The black female neo-Nazi with the white male neo-Nazi. Okay, yeah, that's it. You know. And no placeholder, thank you for the super sticker. Thank you for the super sticker. Right. Yeah. I'm sorry, this one killed me. This International Ronin, this one killed me. And International Ronin says, I present you your min ain't ish card. How do you spell your last name, Vincent? Oh, shout out to Ryan Lochte. What's going on, K Michelle? If she ain't tried, if she didn't date Ryan Lochte for a little bit, she would have been like, black men ain't ish. Nah, after Ryan Lochte done smash and was talking crap about her and her hood ass ways behind her back, now she's men ain't ish. Okay, yeah, whatever, K Michelle. Right? I'm just saying. And he says it's in Water Sniper's channel, Z. Okay. Okay, I'll check that out. Well, that's horrible. Bro, I'm all about black women. That's who I prefer. But if Mr. Z was to date out, it'd probably be an Afro Latina. You know, but okay, fine. Not Afro, nothing related. It's probably gonna be a Latina. Um, if she started talking crazy about Latinos, I'd be like, wait a minute. Do you really want to be with me? Number one. Number two, why are you so obsessed with these dudes if you with me? Number three, why are you talking about them like that? These are like your brothers, your father, your uncles, your cousins. But that's not how these white dudes operate. They encourage it. And so when she wild out on them, well, you thought you were safe as your white skin. And maybe for a couple of seconds you were. Right? Shout out to Black Uru. Brad's gonna Brad. And Keisha is gonna Keisha also. And so after all the niceties are done, right? All the pleasantries, y'all done got comfortable in the relationship, comfortable in the marriage. We a couple years in, and Brad's and Keisha's. Well, that's a nuclear war waiting to happen. But as we can see, based off of news headlines, when Brad and Keisha's, well, we know how that ends up, oftentimes. There's gonna be a lot of slow singing, frog bringing. Anyway, so on that note, Spade Man said peak with peak. Eh? Yeah, Mr. Z has practiced his 1980s, early 90s evil villain laugh. And yes, I've done it in black women's faces, and the look on their face, they really be wanting to murk Mr. Z, right? Right. What's the brother name off of Living Single? Malcolm? I think that brother had like the dopest sarcastic laugh ever. The dopest, like, rub your face in it laugh ever. Right? So, on that note, everyone, this whole video wasn't necessarily to chastise Yanny as much or anything. Kyle, thank you, better you. I think you mean Kyle. Yes, I meant Kyle. Thank you. I meant Kyle. Right? Yeah. No, Kyle's laugh was. I'm about to YouTube it after I get off, right? But okay. On that note, everyone, this was really here for us. I definitely want to cover this to bring this to y'all, but also to forward to Dr. Umar Johnson and say, bro, like these are the people, these are the women that you saying that we not making wives out of. Yanny and this young lady, right? So that I don't know what you want us to do with this. I don't know what black men are supposed to do with this, right? There's no building yourself up and then she you know, adheres to certain things and takes some instruction. No. Women like this can't take instruction from nobody. Exhibit A, they're single as hell. Forget black men, they can't be with no man. And that's why they low-key advocating for political lesbianism. And on that note, all right, everybody, we'll pause right here. Love, peace, and chicken grease. Y'all go check out other Black Manosphere content. Definitely other non-Manosphere content, so y'all don't sound like Real Talk with Yanny and this other young lady advocating or saying something that you think is new and revelatory, and but it's really not. It's like literally millennia old. Go turn over some books written about the Roman women on the Isle of Lesbos. I'm pretty sure they sounded just like this. Right? You know, and on that note, we'll end right here. Y'all have a great rest of your day. Right? And Mr. Z out. All right, everybody. Mr. Z got to go live life and do Mr. Z things. Anyway, all right, everyone. Mr. Z out. Trill. Ah. All right, everybody. Y'all have a great rest of your day.